Hey, what's up, BKFC Reddit? We're back with another Ask Me Anything with James Lilley. What's up, James? How you doing, man?
Good, met you.
Well, I wanted to do James Lilley interviewing James Lilley, so that's what wearing the shirt for.
Yeah, sorry, I've had a long day in London, so I didn't have time to change. And to be honest, I didn't bring any clothes with me. I didn't think I was going to be out this long. So,
You were the first ever fighter that sent me a piece of gear and signed it. So like I'm a huge fan of yours. I've always appreciated it.
yeah, you've been a good supporter from day one, and it's great to finally get on and talk to you on here rather than Instagram or whatever else.
Sure. You've been really good with the Reddit too. I appreciate it. Like we share your poetry and stuff. When did the poetry start? Is it something you've always done, or something you got into later? Or
I did it when I was about. I did it around the same time as I was fighting. Really, like I went to like this workshop on a retreat with school, and I wrote a poem, and it was pretty good. But I kind of kept it like as like a hobby that everyone's got like those hobbies that were like probably you say we were nerds or whatever, and I kind of kept it to like one side and not tell anyone because obviously the group I was in and because I was a boxer and stuff, I just didn't think it was something you shared with anyone, so it was something I kept quiet. And it was only until lockdown where we had nothing to do. I was like to my wife, I said, "Look, I'm gonna write a book." She went, "Go on then." So I smashed out like 30,000 words, and I was like, "Oh, this is shit." So I went on Twitter and I started speaking to a couple of local poets and try getting into like these Zoom writing circles and stuff. Not really knowing what I was doing. And this guy, Matt Smith from Swansea, said, "Look, just send us some of your work. If it's good enough, we'll put it in the magazine." And he liked it, and it just kind of like escalated. I had quite a lot of success with quite a few American, zines and stuff because they kind of like the darker poetry, which is what I kind of find a knack into. So yeah, it's always been there. It's just something I kept on the back burner, and I'm quite glad that the two kind of complement each other now.
okay, so it's James Lights Out Lilley, the warrior poet. Are you both those people, or did you go from Lights Out to warrior poet, or like where are you at now?
Well, Lights Out was kind of my nickname because the first time I was going to have an MMA fight, we were at like a local show, and the promoter, who was a friend of mine, said, "Right, you got to have a nickname," and I was like, "Oh." And I was a big fan of James Toney, and I was like, "Oh, I'll be Lights Out." So because it kind of rolled off the tongue, James Lilley, James Toney, Lights Out. So I was Lights Out, and it was only until I came to BKFC and they did a couple of spotlights on me that this warrior poet thing blew up. Sorry, and I know I'll take the both of them now. It's great. It's just another sort of feather to my cap.
So I know you don't have a fight right now. I'm pitching this fight. I think you should fight Lights Out Lytle versus Lights Out Lilley for the Battle of BKFC Lights Out.
um, I met Chris years ago at a London BKB, and I said to him on Twitter at the time because I was a big fan, "Oh, I mean, you should fight to get the monk gear of Lights Out." And then when I sat next to him in the change room, he obviously didn't know who I was, and he was massive, and I was like, "Oh." And then this one of the women who does the cuts walked in and went, "Oh, look, it's the American Lights Out and it's the Welsh Lights Out." And he went, "Hey man, you're the one giving me shit on Twitter all the time." And I was like, "Yeah, sorry, Chris." But no, he's a great guy, and he's one of the first UFC fighters I followed, so I'm a big fan of his as well. But I don't fancy my chances against him.
Okay, so the BKFC Prospect Series UK just came out today on the app. I watched it before we go in live with you. You had a lot to do with that. Can you tell us about that experience?
Yeah, if you see some of the videos, I'm smiling quite a lot on it. I'm really enjoying myself. I love being involved in sort of combat sports, and it's quite an honor and a privilege for BKFC to ask me to attend to cast my eye over the next generation of stars coming through. There was some real talent there. Some really good boxers, some really good brawlers, and I was just really happy to be part of the experience. It was great. I love to be involved in it again, and since I had Marco over for BKFC Bulgaria, it's kind of given me this other avenue where maybe in the future I'd like to go down the trainers route or maybe the managers route and look after fighters and guide them. Because when I was younger, like when I first turned pro, I didn't know the difference between like pro boxing and amateur boxing. It was just a pay to me. I didn't know what like a journeyman was. I didn't know that if you fought away from home, you were up against it. I was quite naive, so I'd like to be able to pass on my experience to the next group of people.
Sure. The one thing that I took away from the series was Connor Tierney has never met a camera that he doesn't love. Like,
Oh yeah, he is. As soon as he walked in, he was half an hour late, and as soon as he walked in, he was straight behind the canvas. They were taking photos. I said, "You love the camera, but fair play to him. It's he does it well, so he can't complain."
no, he did a great job talking about selling yourself, and like you both had really inspiring speeches on there. I'm glad to see that they both gave you guys an opportunity to talk on the show. Is there anybody from like that you trained with that was able to go to the tryouts, or was it all fairly new people or people that you'd known from the local scene? But
Well, a couple of Welsh guys messaged me. One actually came over from Thailand, and funny story, the top you're wearing, Ty Emery has got the same top. My friend Marley, who lives in Thailand, had one of my tops, and he gave it to her. So she's always posting pictures in the top, and he trained in the same gym, so they knew each other. But yeah, it was good to see some Welsh guys up there. My dream is to get a BKFC show in Wales and then run a prospect series in Wales. That's the ultimate goal. But yeah, it was good to see a few guys up there. Good to see I finally met like Ty Emery and Mel Shaw, who I hadn't had the privilege of meeting before, and it was good to get amongst it. I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely something I want to do again.
so kind of getting off track, like Wales, like a lot of people are like, oh, Wales, what the hell is that? So I started watching that show, Welcome to Wrexham, and it's based in Wales, and I started to get like enthralled with all the Welsh stuff, and so at the end of this last season, they played the song Yum O Hyd, and holy crap, that's a fantastic song. So now I have this goal. I feel like Andy needs to make it happen. They do a show in Wales, and you get Daffod even to like sing that song, and you walk out for the main event. I could just imagine, like, that's such an amazing song, and the Welsh people are just such proud people. Like, I had no idea you guys were so like just prideful, and everything about it is fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's the dream. Hopefully I can win the title this year, and then we could bring a show to Swansea, Wales, because we've just had a new arena built. It's not a massive arena; it holds about 3,000 people. But for the first BKFC show in Wales, I think it'd be perfect. The gym I train out of would be perfect to hold tryouts and weigh-ins and stuff in. So we've got it ready. We've got the infrastructure ready. So my dream is now win the title, and I can bring a show here.
Can you list some of the Welsh fighters for us? And I believe David Round, right? And then who else? Or
I think it's only myself and David Round officially signed at the moment to BKFC.
Okay.
But there was Joseph Jonat and Sam Stevens who were at the tryout who been offered some spots on the BKFC Prospect Series. Because of that, then I've got a couple of guys who I train with in the gym who have now come on board, and they want to they're looking to get into BKFC or bare knuckle. I got a couple of ex-pro boxers who are looking to switch over to bare knuckle because one of them came out to Bulgaria with us, and he saw the production. Some of these guys are making like their bare knuckle debuts in like a 7,000 seater stadium. Big
Yeah.
stage, big pictures, and they've never experienced that, even though they're experienced pros. And they were like, this is a bit of me. I think BKFC is the place to go, and I think it's only going to get harder to get into it as it grows. So I think now is the time to get into these tryouts and prospect series. So yeah, there's going to be a few coming through. It's me and Di Round carrying the torch at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, so Big Ben, the ring guy, the BKFC ring guy, I told him I was talking to you today, and so he had a couple questions he wanted me to ask you. So I'll ask you. He says, "Do you think you beat Luis looking back after the fight?" And then the second part is, "Do you plan on fighting at 155 again? And where would you like to fight?"
Oh, those are good questions. Watching the fight back with Louise, I thought the fight was a lot closer than what I thought it was in the ring. In the ring, I thought I'd lost. I thought I let the middle round slip away. I still don't think I done quite enough to take the decision. Being away from home, he's the undisputed champion. But I certainly would say it was a close fight. couple of guys I know have said, and even people in the arena said I won. I personally don't think I did enough, but I can see why there's an argument. What was it? Am I staying at 155? The goal was to go down to 145. There's a lot of fun fights there, but in honesty, I'm not great at sticking to my diet out of camp. With Christmas coming up, I'd have to look for a March or April fight for 145, but there's some rumours about what's happening at 155 at the moment, and I've done pretty well at 155, so I'll stick at, I'm not saying I'm never going to go down to 145, but 155 seems the logical option at the moment. Then,
Okay.
in the new year, we'll have a look. And where would I like to fight? Anywhere in America, to be honest. I love fighting stateside. The guys over there have been so welcoming and receptive of me. It's great. I said, I like to bring BKFC to Swansea, but I'd love to go back and fight in a third and maybe a fourth state just to say, I've done 5 fights in 4 different states. It would be perfect for me.
Okay, so are you trying to get on the card in February, or is that kind of like not something you're looking for, like maybe further down the road?
I'm pushing for it, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Yeah, there's as you know, it's no secret that Louise is chasing the big fights at 165, and he's hoping then to maybe go on and fight Perry at 175, which would be the ultimate fight in BKFC, the pound for pound versus the King of Violence. So there are options for me at 155. I think the problem is at the moment the division's a little bit tied up where Tony Soto's obviously waiting for his title shot. Fair enough. Bobby Taylor I fought, and then the guys under Bobby Taylor are kind of vying for position. So I don't know what fights it would have unless I then looked outside the top 5, which I don't really want to do. So I'd like to fight. I'd like to make my debut at 145 against one of the top 5 guys, but like I said, there's so many moving parts. It's hard to say. But yeah, February 2nd, 155. I can do that, no problem.
Okay, so my wife says I never ask her question, so I'm going to ask her question. She would like to know what's the most embarrassing incident in your combat career? What's your most embarrassing incident?
What's my most embarrassing incident? That's a hard one. I don't think I don't think I've had many, to be honest. It obviously getting naked on the scales when it's cold and you're dehydrated is not always the most what's it called, the best thing. But I don't think I've had many in combat sports, to be honest. I've been pretty good. I've had loads of embarrassing moments in life, but I've been pretty good in combat sports. Probably being naked on the scale when I'm dehydrated is probably not the most fun.
So I'm a former wrestler, so I naked on the scale all the time. My wife's like, "You have no problem getting naked." I was like, "I've been in a room full of dudes naked before. It's just what it is." But yeah, it's crazy, that mindset. You're just like, "Ah, it's what I got to do to make it." So
yeah, exactly.
What was I going to ask you? So you said you're in London for work right now. What do you do? I thought you were a full-time fighter, so you clearly have a job. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a casino and arcade engineer for a company called Novomatic Gaming. So my company manufactures roulette tables, slot machines, stuff like that, and we go around the country installing them, helping big companies if they've got problems. They've got their own engineers. Quite a complex job. We're all over, and a lot of our business in the UK is in London. That's where most of the casinos are, and arcades.
So that sounds like a smart job, and you're a guy that gets punched in the head, but then you do the poetry. You're just a man of many talents.
I just wing it, to be honest. I just sound like I know what I'm talking about all the time, and it gets me by.
The key is to surround yourself with smarter people, and then you just be like, I'm going to pass it off to this guy, yeah.
Or surround yourself with dumber people so you seem the smartest in the room.
Okay, so did you give yourself any goals for 2024?
Yeah, I definitely want to I want to fight at least 3 times. I've had conversations with David Feldman because I was hoping to get one more in before the end of the year, which would have been my last fight of my contract. They seem keen to extend it. So I'd like to fight 3 times next year, and then at the end of the year see what's next. I don't know. I want to be busy. I'm not like saying I want to be world champion. I want to be busy. I've had 4 fights in BKFC. I'd like to at least have another 3. And I'm all about just, I want to fight. I got quite a good record, with the guys I've fought who have all been like in or around the top 5, got good records. So I just want to fight. I want to fight the best I can fight. I don't want to drop back down a level and have like, a guy who's maybe making his debut or 1-0. I want to fight the top guys. If that happens to be like an ex-UFC or ex-boxer world champion, that's what I want to do. I just want to fight the best out there, the best killers. 3 more fights to take me up to the end of the year, and then we'll see what's next. I still feel, for seeing I'm 37, pretty good in myself. It's just the fact that my children are getting bigger, life's getting busier, so that kind of throws spanners in the work. Hopefully, next year someone might come along and say, right, we're going to sponsor you to train full time, but it is what it is.
Okay, it seems like you got Ty coming over from Thailand. There's like she might fight in UK, she might fight over in Thailand. You don't know. Is that an interest to you to go to one of these other, like you just trained a guy who went to Bulgaria to fight? I mean, I know you like fighting in the States, but I mean, now that the world's opening up, is that a draw for you?
Definitely, it's it gives you a chance to do something that not many people get to see. Loads of people can go on holiday to Thailand or America or Bulgaria, but not many people get to go there and fight there in front of sometimes a hostile crowd. It's the dream for a fighter. I'd love to, I'd love to go to Thailand to fight in Thailand. I'm a big fan of Thai fighters and the way they go about their gyms. Bulgaria was a great experience. As I said, I like stateside, and obviously with South Africa opening up, these are, not everybody gets to get this type of experience. It's only really companies like UFC that their fighters get to fight in all these different. It used to be years ago, like Muhammad Ali. I remember watching him growing up, but obviously older videos, and he went like on a world tour. But you don't usually get to see it. It's like with boxing, it's usually America or the UK. But companies like UFC, where they had Fight Island, they're doing Australia, they're doing Brazil, they're doing all these France. I'd love to do that, and that's what I love about BKFC. They're building that way so that we get to experience these different fighters. Because at some point, I know they use a lot of local fighters at the moment, but at some point they're going to bring their superstars in like they do in UFC. I just think it's going to be insane. Maybe I'm at the wrong end of my career to experience it all, but yeah, a couple more countries I'd like to visit. I'm more than happy to.
Well, I mean, like we're seeing it now with Jared Warren going over and fighting Danny. Like I feel like now that we're getting all these little hubs, the time for cross promotion is going to be huge. And like somebody like you going to fight in South Africa or going to fight Bulgaria, it's going to be huge. And so I'm really looking forward to it. And then I mean, like we got Colombia coming up, and Mexico and Canada. It's insane the amount of places that we're going to have hub, and we have so many fights, and we need we have a ton of fighters we need fighters for. So I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, like you said, it's like the opportunities are phenomenal. It's like as long as you're keeping yourself in the gym and fit, and you're willing to say yes to whenever, wherever. I said, like you said, Canada, Mexico. Someone offered me fights there. I'd bite their hand off. Well, why not? I like being from Wales. I've fought away quite a lot, so I'm used to having crowds, not being on my side. So it doesn't faze me. So bring them on, put me anywhere.
Okay, so 2024, we look forward to seeing you on a whole bunch of cards. I can't wait to watch it. Hopefully, you get your shot at like either a number one contender spot again. Like I know you lost that to Tony, so either I'd love to see either you and Tony fight again, or if Tony gets Luis, then you get the winner of that. I don't know, something.
Yeah, as said, there's a few cards coming up. I hear they've just announced California
Yeah.
in the spring. So that would also be like a dream of mine. I know we've got Angela Core, who's at my weight, ranked 5th. That could be a fight. Me and him speak quite often. We're respecting of each other, and we've said that fight might happen in the future, and we're both up for it. So that could be a fight. So yeah, I'm game for wherever, whenever. I just want to be active next year. And I'm not going to turn down any fights, anything they throw my way. I'm going to be, ready for.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time. And again, we appreciate everything you do for the Reddit. You're awesome on there. Thanks so much and have a great day.
Thank you for having me, Matt. You have a good day as well.
All right.